Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that Dallas would be the one to ruin the Pirates t-shirt scheme that we had going on this morning? I got the Raise It shirt on. We got Connor, who's going to be talking to us some college ball later. He's rocking the Pirate shirt. Jay Hay looks like a pirate. And then you got Dallas, who just was like, I'm going to wear sleeveless fucking... is that the Rocks brand?
This is the Rocks brand. The
Yeah.
Rock says. This is the Rocks brand.
The only thing you guys have in common is that you're bald. It has nothing to do with muscle size or anything like that.
Yeah,
Charismatic
bald physique, superstardom. The list goes on.
Yeah. The list does go on, doesn't it? The list goes on for Clayton Kershaw, who you fools said should have retired last week.
Easy.
Direct quote almost. You guys were like, this guy is washed. He can't do it anymore. He looks awful. He doesn't bring anything to the table. Then he turns in his best start of the season? 8 2/3, 13 strikeouts, 2 hits, no walks. What an outing for Clayton Kershaw his last time out.
Are you throwing a vintage on it?
It was 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned. 7 strikeouts. So hey, fuck you, fuck you. You guys were saying he couldn't strike out more than 2 in a game. He punched out 7.
No, that's not what we said either. That's
yes, it is. No. Here's what you did.
That's kind of what I said, I think.
Yeah, you guys took his average. You said he's averaging 2 strikeouts a game. So how many starts is it going to take him to get to 3,000? You were basically figuring he was going to strike out 2 a game. Then he struck out 7 over 5 1-run innings. So give me a break. I think me being the resident Clayton Kershaw guy here, I deserve a little bit of a pat on the back.
Stop it. Just stop it right now.
Well, you're just jealous. You're jealous that he had a better career than you. Like you guys were like, that's what it is.
I've been able to make peace with it. Believe it or not, like I'm sleeping so much better these days, Jared, than I have in the past. I've finally been able to get over this Kershaw hurdle that has prevented me from having a relationship with my children. But you know what? I'm starting to make headway on it. And I just like to see the guy continuing to get outs. I don't give a shit what fashion he gets him in, Jared. I really don't care. I would love to see them come via the punch out of the punch out variety,
They're coming.
if you will. I would love to see it.
I mean, jokes aside, I'm willing to give Jared a little bit of credit.
Thank you.
I'm willing to give it to him because Clayton Kershaw got almost 30% of the strikeouts that he needs for the milestone that we said we care about in 1 start.
Yep.
Right? Like I'm not taking this start and looking at it and be like, well, now he's in the postseason rotation. To me, it doesn't
that's what
change.
Jared just said. Jared just said this is game 1 type stuff.
That's fine. That's why I'm giving him partial credit, I guess. Then
game 2 type stuff.
Well, maybe for this current Dodgers rotation, but hopefully not the idealized version. But he went from 24 away to 17 away, and or 16 away rather, and 17. And so like that's a meaningful step towards getting what we want to see done, and I think that's awesome, and certainly portends well for his viability in the next couple of starts too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's his most strikeouts in a start since 2013, or sorry, 2023.
Whoa.
Yeah. Sorry. I was using your stats from earlier. It was, but it's his most since June 8th of 2023. So exactly 2 years ago. That's pretty cool. That means something.
That is cool.
Well, and how many starts has he made over the last 2 years?
I mean, the number of starts that I'm talking about that encompasses is 11, 18, 22. It was 22 in between those 2 starts. So, not nothing.
Yeah.
No,
he's throwing more sliders than 4-seam fastballs this year.
Yeah, but I mean, it is continued to trend in that direction though. And that's without even looking at the numbers. But the slider has been a weapon for him since the day he started. That's honestly one of my favorite stories in baseball. Just like when it comes to development of a star, when AJ Ellis told everybody like, Kershaw's going to be throwing a slider from here on out, and he's going to throw it in the game today. And AJ was like, he threw this slider in the bullpen, and it just instantly became his best pitch. Like, everybody knows about the curveball, but the slider was just his best pitch when he started throwing it. And no reason that it can't be something that continues to carry him through this stretch here, right?
Well, and he's never been known as like a shit talker necessarily, but I think it's cool that, you know, he had pointed comments about the Cardinals' Matt Adams home run move, right? Like, I think like maybe this fired him up a little bit.
Well, what happened? What happened?
Oh, you didn't see the so before the start on Sunday, the the Cardinals played a video montage from a decade ago that featured the Matt Adams go-ahead 3-run homer off of Kershaw in Game 4 of the 2014 NLDS. And Kershaw saw it and said, I think it's a little Bush League, but I don't expect anything less from these guys, so it's no worries. And like, you know, like that's cool. Like, I mean, it's not cool. I think it is Bush League that the Cardinals did it. Doesn't necessarily make me mad that they did it. Like, I think it's kind of fun to talk about that they made the decision to troll maybe the greatest pitcher of his generation in what could be, I don't know, his last start at Busch Stadium.
What were they trying? I mean, yeah, were they trying to conjure up like some mixed emotions so he was going to go out there and shit the bed? Because
I mean, it was pre-game, like
shoved it directly up their ass.
I don't know if it was kind of like we're not sending you off in style. It's like, hey, remember that time that we did this 11 years ago? Yeah.
And then he had his best start and certainly of the season. Yeah. And his most strikeouts in 2 years.
Yeah.
Got to feel a little silly if you're the Cardinals after that, don't you?
Yeah. Like, you know what? We did not nail that one. That one did not work out the way we wanted it to.
No.
Yeah. That's an L you just got to take right there.
Yeah. A lot of people talking trash in baseball recently and having it not work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first I would love to talk
I agreed
to you about
with your take on this. Yeah.
Yeah. The Underdog Fantasy app I do want to discuss really quick because I'm checking the back end here. It looks like no picks submitted for Dallas. It's like they put like a little bar here and it says like reason for no submission. He said, I'm scared. What are you scared of, Dallas?
No, I think it's now been 26 minutes I've been awake. So yeah, the picks will come, just not right now.
Okay. Today? Yep. You make picks today.
For sure.
Oh, okay. All right. So be on the lookout for those picks that are definitely coming from Dallas. Yeah. So those will be winners, Dallas?
Well, yeah, that's why I do them.
Okay. Well, make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's JARED to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. Okay. So there was a lot of shit talk happening. I love shit talk. I didn't like any of this shit talk because I want the big dogs to talk shit. I don't need rookies talking shit, and I don't need Jazz Chisholm and his 750 OPS talking shit. Like, if we're going to have Reds, it used to be Jason Varitek punching A-Rod in the face. It used to be Bill Lee and Craig Nettles. It used to be...
there's too many brands at risk, Jared. There's too many think about the brand awareness that's going on in today's sporting world, right? And think about the potential brand damage that could occur if one of these guys decides to actually chirp and say, you know what? I'm gonna let my bat speak for itself. I'll let my outing speak for itself. I don't want to.
Jazz is a Jordan guy, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how many people Jazz is bringing to the Jordan brand.
Oh, wow. So now we have Dallas Braden talking shit about Jazz. When does it end? We have Hunter Dobbins talking about the Yankees. We have Jazz Chisholm talking shit about the Red Sox, and then Dallas Braden, Oakland A's broadcaster, talking shit about Jazz Chisholm. It's never ending. Why can't we all get along? Is kind of like what I'm asking, JA. What do you think?
Why can't we all get along? Oh, yeah. Very layered question. Very layered question.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought I would rather play for any other team, or I would rather die, or I'd rather hanging up than play for this team was a bizarre move from a guy who really needs to probably in the long run be considering all possible employment opportunities.
Yeah. Leave the windows open.
I mean, honestly, like on one hand, it's like, yeah, okay, man, like appreciate the passion. On the other hand, it's like, are you like mentally unstable? Like,
I think the full context is that his dad is a diehard Red Sox fan and hates the Yankees, so that's why he said that.
I don't care. I don't think I care. I think
I would care. My son should care. If my son,
great.
If my son makes it to the big leagues, he can say something like that, and people would be like, "That checks out. That's 100% correct."
If your son was a fringe big leaguer, you would be fine with
fringe. He's in the Boston Red Sox rotation. He's the number 2 starter of the Boston Red Sox. Hunter Dobbins.
I mean, we might be talking about a 5th place team, right?
No, I don't think we are. Justin Havens. I don't think we are talking about a 5th place team.
Jesse Havens? I don't think so. Jesse Havens.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think we are.
So you think Hunter Dobbins is secure enough in his place in the game to have run his mouth saying they don't
I didn't say that.
Yankees? I think it's good they won the series.
I think it's good they won the game that he said that in. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
kind of weird though when Judge does what he does, and
so that let me get this straight. He says what he says, and then Karl Ravech immediately tells Aaron Judge what was said. Is that how that transpired?
Eduardo
What's
Perez.
That?
Eduardo Perez. Yes.
So Eduardo tells him.
Yep.
And what was the reaction?
If you're Aaron Judge and you are the face of the New York Yankees and you have hundreds of millions of dollars and you hit 60 home runs a season and you get told that a rookie who you probably have never heard of, all due respect to Hunter Dobbins, I know him, but like, you think Aaron Judge thinks about Hunter Dobbins? No. Like, hey, Hunter Dobbins says he's rather retire than play for your team. Aaron Judge is going to sit there and be like, that's cute. And then proceed to hit a home run in the first time that you face him. Like that's what Aaron Judge does.
I think it was just poetic. Like that's how that's supposed to happen when shit like that goes down. Like it's either Hunter Dobbins goes CG shut piece and is like, I told you, fuck these people. Or it's Aaron Judge going, hold on, nobody cares.
Nobody asked you to play for the Yankees.
Nobody. I'm not sure who asked. Somebody clearly asked and gave you the opportunity to say this, but I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Like,
yeah, I said on Twitter, I wish he hadn't said it or wait until after the start to say something like that. I'd like to see a video of the tone, because I'm sure he was joking around. Like, my dad hates the Yankees, so I'd rather retire than play for them. I don't think he was stone faced being like, fuck these motherfuckers. I hate the Yankees. Like, I don't think it was like that.
A lot of people went back to, like, they compared it to the Griffey comments, right? And if you have any idea about why,
well, that's wildly different. He was dead serious.
Oh, well, this is what I was just getting ready to say. Not only was he dead serious, but if you understand why he was dead serious, those are very, very, very different and very real and very serious implications. And so it's completely different than Hunter Dobbins and his family being Red Sox fans, as opposed to King Kirby Jr. feeling the way he did about the Yankees for the reasons he felt as strongly as he has.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
Maybe I'm just being too pragmatic about it and too like, I'm not an athlete, but I just feel like that he said that and like pumped his chest as part of Red Sox Nation is going to buy him exactly zero equity when it comes to making decisions for the Boston Red Sox franchise in the future. But I bet that it would, in theory, harm his ability to sign with the New York Yankees in the future, that he said something like this. I honestly think that like the Yankees would, that would probably come up in the conversation. I don't know whether it's like, if you can't make it with the Red Sox, are you going to then be turning around and signing with the Yankees? Those are typically not the sequence of events, but still, I don't know, kind of, that's what stood out to me.
Yeah, I think anytime, there's a certain level of talent that is necessary to be able to say something like this and it not impact your potential future employment, right? Let's just be real. This is a sport where you can do a lot of things, you can say a lot of things, you can be accused of a lot of things, and if you're good enough and likable enough, all of those things get overlooked. All of them. Each and every one of them. So should Hunter Dobbins ever get to that level of talent where this doesn't come back to, who knows? Who knows? But I agree with what you're saying, J.A. Like, I don't know how much clout you thought this was going to give you in the realm that you're currently in. And if you weigh that, comparatively speaking, against the potential limitations you've now placed on yourself for future employment, is that a decision that you wanted to make? Is that something that you wanted to do? I don't know that it's going to be that big of a deal.
No.
More than anything, it's just bulletin board material.
Agree. And like, ultimately it's a subjective thing. I just think it plays really well if you're like the captain of the team and like an MVP candidate and a badass being like, fuck the Yankees or fuck the Dodgers or whoever it might be. But if I just don't know. It feels kind of forced otherwise.
If Roman Anthony came up, like if they ever decided to put Roman Anthony in the big leagues and he came up and let's say they made the decision to put some of their best players on the big league team where they're
the
trying
major
to win
league
games.
team.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's say that happened, Jay. And he came up and then said something like that before the series, different tone.
Completely different tone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, oh shit.
100%.
Is this a new,
but when Hunter
era?
Dobbins said it, I thought it was photoshopped. I was like, why? First of all, like, why are we making up quotes for Hunter Dobbins? Like that doesn't move the needle. And then to know that it was real, I was like, well, who reported this?
It's just a little cringy, I think. Just a little, not like that big of a deal.
It gave me pause. I was just like, I wouldn't have done that. I mean, good for you that you were able to, I guess, go out there and back it up. But it's not like he didn't strike out a single batter, but he did get the win.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
what was his line?
5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 runs, 0 walks, 0 strikeouts, 2 homers allowed, 64 pitches.
Yeah, the
just barely got it done. Yeah,
the 0 walk, 0 strikeout line. Like I'll be honest. Like as a pitcher, I got nothing for you. I can't say did I dominate? I didn't dominate. Did I keep you off? I don't know that I kept you off balance either. I was able to do, like you just said, Jay, just enough. The defense heavily involved. And I was able to make some pitches that got the balls hit at the guys that I needed them to get hit.
Yeah, your offense picked you up.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Hunter Dobbins. I was very surprised by that. I didn't know he had that in him. But
I mean, yeah. So is there no level of like excitement? Like you can't rally around that at all? For no. Anybody as a Red Sox fan, like you don't see that. You don't see it as somebody who's willing to put the fucking team on their chest and say, look,
you've got to be a guy first to say something like that. I think
maybe he's reading in between the lines though. He's like, look, I don't know that this team is going to bring up anybody and bring in anybody that's gonna be this, that's gonna have this sort of in. Maybe I need to be that guy. I'll do it.
I think he misread the lines.
Yeah. Also, it's very ballsy to tempt the baseball gods and the way that things have been going this season. It's risky to tempt the baseball gods, period. But the way that things have been going for the Red Sox this year, to be like, yeah, fuck the Yankees right before you face them in Yankee Stadium with the series on the line as a rookie, I don't know that was the wisest choice. It worked out.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It worked out.
Can we, speaking of quotes that may or may not be real, just while we're on the topic of the Red Sox and their success and all that, what did you think about Breslow's comments that like he really wants to see Roman Anthony put a little bit more distance on the home runs that he hits? Like he just like a few more feet. Like he just wants to see him kind of like even that out a little bit, maybe get to a clean 600.
Yeah. I don't know, Jay. Hey, as someone who picked Roman Anthony for Rookie of the Year, how are you feeling about that pick?
Well, I mean, the pick is almost certainly wrong now. But
he could
no
be
fault
here.
of
He
yours.
could have started the year here, but that
I mean, I feel simultaneously worse and better. I feel worse about it because the practical odds of him winning the award have diminished to a point that I didn't think we would get to. But I also feel like in some ways I'm going to win because he is playing so well and the narrative is so loud that I just wonder. I just wonder whether there's kind of a greater conspiracy here going on.
Could be.
I mean, he's obviously the best. He's obviously the best player, so he needs to be up. All due respect to Jay Willie.
Yeah.
No need for a double throat clear.
Well,
Oh,
I felt it was necessary.
No need. I mean, you just, you know what? You're a numbers guy. Just enjoy those.
He's having a great year, man. He's having a great year.
Just enjoy those.
Yeah.
I just wish
Shout
those
out to Jay
AAA
Willie.
numbers counted for Rookie of the Year. I think they should. I think they should factor in.
I know the big league numbers count, and a team that was wise enough to call up their top prospect, Jack Caglianone. He came up and had a 4-hit game already. Actually, his first at bat almost resulted in a double in the gap, which it took a heroic effort to rob him of that. But a 4-hit game already in the big leagues. Jack Caglianone, which, by the way, we figured out that Jack is an acronym for his full name, which is pretty cool. I do like that. Early impressions of Caglianone.
I saw something, and I haven't had as much time as I'd like to dive into this with him. But it was something that I was starting to do with Nick Kurtz as well. Just the sample size is just not great enough, not large enough. But there was conversation about Caglianone's swing speed not quite being as strong as it was in the minor leagues. And if that's the case, which it may be, something that is extremely encouraging in a time like this, if that is indeed factual, is what I watched with Nick Kurtz unfold and what I gotta believe, already starting to see with Caglianone, is these guys will, I don't want to say grow into their power stroke at this level, but they will learn to get comfortable and deploy it when they are at the point that they are comfortable with pitch recognition as well as approach. Because I think when you first show up to the big leagues and you come build with light tower power, there's an inherent expectation that every time you touch the baseball, and especially with Cags, because some of those exit velocity numbers are just stupid, dude just hammers the baseball. That's all he does. He hits the ball really fucking hard every time he hits it. So when you have that kind of following you and really propelling you to the big leagues, it's a conversation point that people latch onto immediately. You get put under the microscope immediately. Well, when's the power going to come? That's all I heard about is this guy's ability to hit homers and drive the ball out of the ballpark. He doesn't have any homers yet. Well, what's going on? He's got 6 hits, no homers. He's got 1 RBI, no homers. He'd have more RBIs if he could hit home. Calm down, folks. Calm down. Let these guys get used to the speed of the game at this level, the speed of the stuff, period, at this level, the sharpness, the crispness, right? How they're being pitched. They're going to be attacked in a way that they've never been attacked before, because they're going to then be exposed in a way they've never been exposed before at the minor league level. So if you're watching a guy who has incredible juice start to feel his way around the ballpark, meaning he's spraying the ball around, you're watching him maybe at times shorten up when he gets deep into counts. These are all extremely good and extremely positive signs of a guy who is making adjustments in real time, but the power is not quite there yet because he's making those adjustments. Otherwise, he'd be up there freewheeling and letting the bitch fly, and you're probably going to see some larger swing and miss numbers. And I think that's a positive if you're watching a guy get comfortable getting to the baseball, knowing full well the power is there and ain't going nowhere.
Reminds me of a phrase I used to hear a lot: get comfortable being uncomfortable. Is basically what you're telling me. The exit velocity and the hard hit and all that sort of stuff is what stood out to me. I mean, obviously we're at literally 25 plate appearances, so the smallest of smallest sample size, but 8th fastest average bat speed. And I believe it's it's the 12th, tied for 11th fastest or hardest hit rate. So, I mean, that's as advertised, right? I know none of them have turned into home runs, but I'm excited. Youngest Royals outfielder with a 4-hit game since Carlos Beltran. So yeah, a lot to be excited about.
So that was what, like 2003?
99.
Holy fuck.
Yep. Yep. I mean, you're not wrong that Beltran was playing with them into the 2000s, but when Beltran was younger than Caglione, it was 99.
Damn.
Yep.
Damn. Speaking of things that make you go, damn, the Philadelphia Phillies have lost 5 straight games. They are now 4.5 games out of first place behind the New York Metropolitans. And that losing streak was extended to 5 games because Dallas, they were swept this past weekend by the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Raise it.
And the exclamation point, obviously, was put on this series by a 7 2/3 innings effort from Paul Skeens, who allows just 2 hits, 1 run. It was not earned. He only walked 1 batter and punched out 7 over his last 6 starts. Are you ready for these numbers?
Oh, buddy, it's stupid.
Over his last 6 starts, 42 1/3 innings pitched, 22 hits, only 4 earned runs, 1 homer, 8 walks to 45 strikeouts. It is a 0.85 ERA.
Yeah.
It's a 189 FIP. And somehow, some way, the Pirates have managed to play their way to a 500 record over that 6-game sample. But that's fine. That's fine because we're back to our winning ways in Pittsburgh after a 3-game sweep of the Philadelphia Phillies. I think obviously with where the Pirates are in the standings and what the roster is, I think it's less about the fact that the Pirates swept, more about Paul Skeens continuing to dominate and getting stronger and better as the season goes along.
I mean, what other conversation is there to have at this point? Like, I would love to be able to discuss with you that the Pirates are going to continue to make a push and are going to be playing a better brand of baseball heading into the summer and yada, yada, yada. Is that realistic, though?
No.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And I don't know another way to tell you that it sucks. I don't know another way to tell you. I mean, it is what it is. And I hate the fact that Paul Skeens is already at the point and has already been at the point where, like, his outings are in my opinion, it feels like his outings are never going to be properly appreciated because they're always going to be viewed through the lens of imagine, just imagine. Like, there's always going to be a hypothetical attachment to his outings where, yeah, but if it was happening here, man, wouldn't it be worth so much more? Could you imagine if he was getting, and it's like, yeah, we can, because we've lived through this before, not in Pittsburgh. I mean, maybe in Pittsburgh with Cole a little bit, but this is different, man. This is different, but it really isn't different. It really isn't going to matter. It's just going to be this. Every time he takes the baseball, this is what it's going to be about. Like, how well did he pitch? How much support did he not get? And did it result in a loss again? Oh, that's weird. And never along the way does it feel like you're ever going to be able to truly appreciate what Paul Skeens is doing in the moment. And that's just bananas to me.
I'm so happy that it's played out this way because Mr. Raise It is all negative on the situation coming off of the 3-game sweep. And I'm coming in with the positive because
look at you.
other than like the joke that Paul Skeens didn't get the win again, which was my first reaction, if I'm being fair, before the conclusion of the game. My second reaction now is, yes, I agree with everything you said about the Pirates. We're all on the same page about their viability and what this sweep does or doesn't mean. But what I'm excited about is that the first substantive conversation that we had about Paul Skeens on the pod this year was, why is he not nearly as dominant / frankly, as good, as great as he was during his rookie season? And I feel great that we don't really have to have that portion of the conversation, because what's actually happening during this immaculate run, 6 starts, 7 starts, whatever you want to do, is that his overall stat line right now is actually better than it was last season. And it is coming with that reduced swing and miss that we talked about before, and he's not striking out batters at the same rate. But what we don't have to have the caveat with that, which is that, well, yeah, he's not quite as dominant either, but he might be holding something back. It's like, well, yeah, he's not striking out as many people, and we can debate dominance, but the result is still as dominant, and he has reasserted himself as the NL Cy Young favorite. Like, he and Skubal statistically, I think, are still the best pitchers in Major League Baseball right now. All due respect to many other great seasons that are happening. But that to me is what is exciting, is that what Paul Skeens can control, his development, we are seeing a meaningful step forward, and that like true horse that I think a lot of people envisioned leading the league with 91 innings pitched, like that all excites me very much.
He has one start this season that he did not go into the 6th inning. One start. He's completed a minimum of 5 innings every time he's taken the baseball. He's allowed more than 2 earned runs twice. All season long. He's allowed more than 2 earned runs, no more than 5 total runs at any point in time. Yeah.
It was more than 3 earned runs once. It was more than 2 earned runs twice and more than 3 earned runs once.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's at a 1.93 ERA now through 37 career starts. I mean, it becomes a joke. I mean, his ERA is officially lower than it was last season. He's pacing better in basically everything except for the strikeouts. Leads the league in innings pitched, leads the league in wins above replacement, at least the NL. Leads the NL in WHIP, fewest hits allowed, fewest home runs allowed, at least on a rate basis. I mean, it's just everything.
Yeah.
And frankly, I would rather see in the modern version of baseball, I would rather see a version of Paul Skeens that is 7+, to the extent that this is possible, like 7+ innings out every time with a strikeout per, rather than 5 2/3 or 6 innings
14,
pitched
15.
with 10, 11, 12, whatever strikeouts. Like, we've got that in the game, right? We get those starts. What we don't get is what we're seeing right now with Paul Skeens typically, where it's like, this is truly a throwback level pitcher in terms of the volume that he's willing to absorb or capable of absorbing. And that to me is its own thing and very special.
And this is not a oh, well, back in my day. This is if I was somebody with my terrible shit that was able to go out there and get through 6 innings minimum more times than not, then it would stand to reason that a guy with this kind of stuff should be able to do that as well. And that's not the conversation we're having. What we're talking about is the consistency in doing so, and what does the body of work look like in those moments. And to your point, Jay Hay, you can have guys go out there and step on the gas pedal and give you everything they've got in a short burst and just see what that looks like. But there's going to be times where that individual is not going to make it through 5 innings because the pitch count's going to be so high. And sure, you got sexy swing and miss numbers, but the implications of what has now happened to your bullpen and what that could potentially do for the next week and a half, 2 weeks. And something folks don't truly think about is, if a guy like Paul Skeens goes out and gives you 4 2/3 a couple outings in a row, that's over a 10-day period, there's a solid chance that the bullpen has been exposed to an extent where lives start to change. Some guys are up, some guys are down, some guys are getting moved around, and you just don't want to be the guy who has started a ball game that leads to stuff like that. So we're talking about a dude who I gotta believe when we get to the end of this season, average outing is going to feel like it's going to be 6 1/3, 8, 9 punchies, a run and a half, 2 maybe. And when you start licking your lips and thinking about a full season's worth of work like that, there's a reason why he has, as you said, Jay, reasserted himself at the top of this NL Cy Young list. Because there's nobody fucking doing stuff like this.
I was gonna not to put you to work, Jay, ask for historical context here. Like who's the first guy that you think of where, like, what would you say he's averaging right now? 6 2/3 per start for the season?
Yeah, I have his page pulled up. Hold on, I'll tell you.
Okay, like something like, call it a 9 strikeouts per 9, 6 2/3 innings per start, and a sub.
He's about
2.
6.5 innings. I know that's not a thing, but 6.5 innings per start is his average this season.
So call it 6 2/3.
Yep.
And a 9. What's the K9 for the year? Is it 9?
He has 92 strikeouts in 91 innings. So call it 9.
Call it 9. And a sub 2. Like, can we punch that in? Like, who are his historical
like over
comps?
full seasons?
Yeah. Yeah. What other seasons are we talking? Sub 2,
Sure,
averaging 6 2/3 and 9 strikeouts per 9.
Oh yeah.
Like, what are some comparable seasons?
Some OGs, man.
Like Koufax,
Gibson.
Yeah. Their strikeout numbers are probably going to be better, Koufax and Gibson, but you know.
Oh well, Gibson not huge. Like what? Like if I'm remembering correctly, Bob Gibson not like a massive K per 9 guy.
Honestly, it was more like what Skeens is doing this season is what Bob Gibson's like peak strikeout numbers look like.
Okay.
But they were obviously very impressive for his era. But all right, so ERA.
Yeah, I don't know that Bob Gibson ever had like a fucking 10 K per 9 or a 9.
Let's do since they lowered the mound in 68.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't need to know what fucking Sparky Dickballs was doing in 1902.
Sparky Dickball.
Yeah. He was averaging 9 innings per start with a 4.2 strikeouts per 9 and a 103 ERA.
Okay. So, I did since 1969 expansion. That's what you wanted, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Expansion era, earned run average 1.99 ERA or below. So below 2, strikeout per 9 of 9.0 or greater. And I did at least 200 innings pitched, which is 6 2/3 innings prorated over 32 starts. Okay. So that's how we got there. The only examples of those AL or NL since 1969, Tom Seaver in 1971, Pedro Martinez in both 97 and 2000. So AL, NL there. Jake Arrieta in 2015 and Jacob deGrom in 2018. Those are the only examples.
Oh, wow. All right. So it's as rare of a circle as I had imagined that it would be.
No question. And even, I mean, I pulled up since 61. I mean, Koufax only did it once. Luis Tiant did it, and Sam McDowell did it in the 60s. Those are the only ones that we cut off in the 60s too. So it's not like we're playing small sample size theater here. This is rare.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is don't miss your chance to go see Paul Skeens pitch if you have the opportunity, but you can create the opportunity for yourself with the Game Time app. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer that it gets the first pitch. They have killer last minute deals, view some of your seats, and their lowest price guarantee. Dallas, have you seen Skeens pitch live yet?
Yeah.
He pitched against the A's?
Yes.
When was that? So. This year or last year?
Last year. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm lying to you right now.
I feel like, I know what your brain situation is, but I feel like that's something that you would remember.
I think this was a dream of yours. I believe.
Yeah. Like, I don't know that, because I feel like that would have been like the lead topic. Like, Dallas sees Paul Skeens live in person. Yeah, I don't know that happened.
No.
It didn't.
Yeah, no.
No,
I confirmed. No, it didn't.
Okay. So again, like this, I know you guys love Dallas and he always has great perspective, but you just can't trust a fucking word this guy says.
He just makes shit up.
He's like my dad. Like my dad will just make shit up and like have so much conviction that like he was there and he like no.
Hey, I'm glad we got the answer.
Just because I know you're gonna get asked sometime in the future, like, hey man, like what's it like seeing Paul Skeens up close? And he's just gonna be like, electric shit. Like, you know,
well, I've seen him up close. I haven't seen him pitch up close.
That's true. That's also true.
Yeah. He's touched me. I've touched him.
Yeah, that is very true.
Maybe you're thinking about when we saw him warm up at spring training, because he was pitching, right?
I've been as close to him while pitching as anybody has.
That's true.
Yeah. So,
you're going to want to check out the Game Time app because they have these last minute deals where you can save up to 60% off buying last minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. You can save even more when you choose a section and you let Game Time choose the seats for you. The fees are included, so you can know your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. You can get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy your tickets. And of course, the lowest price guarantee, your Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is also covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry today. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the promo code BID for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the promo code BID for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. If you have the schedule up, or any one of you has the schedule up, can you see if and when the A's go to Pittsburgh this year? Do the A's go to Pittsburgh this year?
I believe they already went to Pittsburgh. Dallas had a great time.
Already been there.
Yeah, Dallas had a great time.
You remember that one, D?
I do. It was a day much like today.
Let's see. I'm pulling it up.
Yeah.
We do go this year because we didn't go last year.
We are in Pittsburgh, so let's lock it in. Let's lock in the experience. September 19th to the 21st.
Yeah, we go right after
Red Sox.
Boston. Yeah.
Yep. I feel like you should just pick Jared up in the Boston series and take him right along to Pittsburgh, and you guys just do a whole seeing Skeens.
My luck
experience.
Yeah, my luck fucking Skeens
documentary
is going to pitch the day before we get there.
Yeah, good chance that's the case.
You got a 60% chance.
Plus, by September, you figure they're probably shutting his ass down.
I was going to say he's going to be shut down.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that
if Skeens is lined up for that series, I might do that trip. I might go to Pittsburgh.
I'm serious.
I am too.
I'll be there.
Watching Skeens. We should get Eamon down for the documentary.
Yeah.
The two of you going to Pittsburgh after the Boston Red Sox A's series to watch Paul Skeens pitch.
Is it a Wednesday series, or is it a weekend series?
It's Friday, Saturday, Sun.
Ooh, okay. So maybe we can try to get Corey Graves to come as well.
We could do that.
Road trip.
We'll get the Renegades of the Rotunda involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
What'd
you say the dates were, Jay?
Drive from Boston to Pittsburgh. Corey Graves, Dallas Braden, Jared Carabas.
Yeah.
19 to 22.
Yeah, 19 to 22. Yeah, 19 to 21. Sorry.
Oh, 19 to 21.
Yeah. It's directly after. There's no break in between the Red Sox. So Red Sox ends Thursday. It's a 1:35 game on Thursday, September 18th in Boston. And then you guys have a Friday evening game in Pittsburgh at 6:40.
I got a Nesson game on the 19th, but if we can move that, I'm all in. As well, it depends. Like if Skeens is not pitching on that Friday, then I can probably just.
We just watch Paul Skeens pitch, or you want to sit there and watch the last place team struggle through the last parts of September?
No,
I cover the Red Sox, not the Orioles.
Finding Falter.
Finding Falter.
We'll make it work. We're flexible here. We're flexible. By the way, no show on Thursday this week. So we will have Family Feud. Final show of the week will be on Wednesday this week. Yeah, it was just a situation where Dallas had something to do. I have something to do. And normally when we have someone that has something to do, it's usually just one of us. But and I even encouraged Jay Hay to do the Jay Hay solo show.
Well, listen, if the pushback from the people is strong enough that it warrants a Jay Hay solo show and Jake has availability, we'll fire it up for a half hour.
I think the people want a Jay Hay solo show.
All right. Well, I have this time blocked off on Thursday. So if that's what the people want, we will give it to them. But the people have to let themselves be heard.
Oh, they're gonna let you know.
Because I am not firing off a Jay Hay solo pod without some encouragement from people who are going to listen to it.
I'm encouraging you.
I am way too insecure for all that. So
yeah, I've been seeing some of the Jay Hay cameos that have been booked.
Yeah, that's been a lot of fun. I think as of right now, only 5-star reviews. So I'm very pleased about that. Yep. And I put effort into my answers. So I had to ask for rebooking over the weekend because my flight was delayed last night coming home from a brief sojourn. But I intend to get to every request that I get, and I appreciate every single one of them. And they've been fun. Like I got to answer an Odubel Herrera leadoff batter request. And I got to say, that is probably my favorite type of request, where I am digging in on the sort of thing that I would never be asked in. Yeah. Somebody's buddy asked, somebody's quote, idiot friend asked if, claims that Odubel Herrera is one of the greatest leadoff hitters of all time. And I was tasked with disproving that, which ended up being extremely easy because he's not even close to the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. His era, even in his best season, he wasn't the best leadoff hitter. So, yeah, it was great. But yeah, no, that's been a lot of fun, and I'm going to keep having fun with it.
Yeah, cameo.com/tags/baseball is dead, or you can just go to Cameo and search baseball is dead, and you'll find Dallas, Jay Hay, Jake, myself. Been having a lot of fun with it. I don't know, DB, did you see my Craig Breslow skit that I was tasked with performing?
No. What? No.
Yeah.
What? Can we watch these? Watch the other? I didn't know that you could watch other people do their shit.
So it's basically like if you pay for it, you can download it. And then if you choose to put it on social media, like I'm not putting ones on social media that people didn't put on social media themselves.
Yeah.
But if you book it and then you download the video and then you tweet it out, then like we will repurpose it on social media for sure. But yeah, like I'm not putting them out there unless people put them out there first.
No, so there's one of you. You want to walk us through it?
So someone said the scene is the Red Sox. You're Craig Breslow, and you are in the Red Sox clubhouse after Ceddanne Rafaela's walk-off home run. This was against the Angels last week. And so for context, for anyone that didn't see the Red Sox doc on Netflix, there's like a scene where Craig Breslow is addressing the team and he just swears, and it's so unnatural. Like you can tell he's trying to be like, I'm one of the boys. I say bad words too. Like we're all former and current players here. For baseball players, they use bad words and I use the baddest words. Like that's how it kind of came off to try and humanize himself to these people. But it would like all of his swear words were just so out of place and unnatural. So this is a cameo where I am Craig Breslow going into the Red Sox clubhouse after a walk-off home run by Ceddanne Rafaela.
Oh, you motherfuckers want a motherfucking win tonight! You got Ceddanne hitting the fucking piss cock out of the ball, a walk-off bomb. That's unbelievable. Willier had a big fucking shit ball out, hit the fucking shit out of it. Carlos, the captain, you piss motherfucker, he drove in the run. This big win, you motherfucking. We fucking love the Sox. You guys are doing a great fucking job. We might be 10 games back, but we're 10 games up in our hearts, okay? You fucking pieces of fuck. Let's go. All right, guys, let's go.
You pieces of fuck.
I've been having fun with it.
Sounds like it.
I love that.
You pieces of fuck.
Yeah, play acting.
Yeah.
Play acting. That's great.
So Dallas, the picture where you made fun of my pants being up to my nipples, I was acting. I was playing a role. I was Craig Breslow.
Is that what you were doing? Okay, yeah, because I saw the pants and I had some serious.
I went high khakis on that. Yeah,
serious thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a lot of vacancy in those pant legs. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm just saying.
Oh. Well, yeah, when you've stretched the material to the absolute brink of its integrity, I
did not expect a compliment from you. So this means nothing to me. Your words do not hurt me. Wow, George Kirby punched out 14. I saw that. Jesus.
Yes, he did. After catching a fucking hot one last time around.
Has Kirby been in the slab lab yet? No.
Well, we had things lined up, but there were injuries, right?
Got it.
He was injured. Logan Gilbert was injured. So
Brian Wu, but no George Kirby yet.
No George Kirby yet. No Logan.
Did you have a
Gilbert.
verbal commitment? Did you have a verbal commitment?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be outstanding when we do get that.
Yeah, I was. I'm not gonna say I was worried, but I was very interested to see what the bounce back was going to be like after Curbs took one on the chin. Literally took one on the chin. Fucking bloody lip last time out. Comebacker. But yeah, he said, yeah, I'll dial up 14 punchies, career high. Things were coming.
Well, and you're saying you were interested to see what the bounce back was after getting hit. Like I was interested to see what the bounce back was after his first 3 starts didn't look very good. You know what I mean? Like getting hit aside. And I'm not like judging the guy. He's working off some rust, working off a shoulder thing. Like, okay, but that was as out of nowhere. Like George Kirby's awesome, right? But in his first 3 starts of the season, he had 11 strikeouts and 4 walks and 13 2/3. And then he punches out 14 and walks nobody. We all know what the Angels offense is like and susceptible to this sort of kind of dominance, overwhelming, a lot of swing and miss, not a lot of getting on base there, but nevertheless, still an incredible performance. I mean, the first 14 strikeout, 0 walk performance by a Mariners pitcher since Randy.
Yeah, and he lowered his ERA over 2 full runs. Like that's anytime you're telling me I can take the baseball today and lower my ERA by 2 full runs potentially by the end of I'm here for that. ERA goes from 8.56 over those first 3 starts. Well, or his last 3 starts to a 6.53.
Well, and a legitimately important development too, because if you just, as I said, if you looked at his first 3 starts, you're like, well, what are we getting from George Kirby in the medium term here? Because these games matter for the Mariners. It's not like they're just prepping for the postseason. Because I know we talked about them and how high we were in the span of the time that we last talked about the Mariners to now. They're now 2.5 games out of first place, and it's back to the Astros being in first place, seemingly like it always is. And so George Kirby throwing up a 14-0 and looking like the best version of himself, and more to the point, just looking more like the George Kirby who's going to impact the race, is a huge development because the Mariners now need him, as opposed to it being, we're just going to kind of wait for our rotation to come back into full strength.
I think Seattle's, it's obviously very early to say that. Oh, you know what? Now that we're on the subject of the AL West, we got called out for not giving the Astros their shine that they've been due, I feel like. None of us, I don't think anyone, I know I didn't, none of us picked the Astros to make it to the postseason, correct? Did anyone else? No one else had the Astros?
I thought I did. I thought I still had them in the postseason, but I would have to go back and check.
Yeah, I don't think I have them in the postseason either. I think I had them bumped.
Either way, they're in
Totally
first place and they deserve their respect. I mean, albeit the AL West, for as much as we talk about the Mariners rotation and how awesome Cal Raleigh's been, the Mariners are very mid. Like, they're not a force to be reckoned with by any means. And by default, it's kind of just like the Astros are that team. They're cockroaches. They won't die. It doesn't matter. Oh, well, we lost Kyle Tucker. We lost Alex Bregman. It's kind of just next man up, and they figure it out as they go. They're very far removed from the 2017 nucleus, but they still have that Astros aura where we should just be viewing them as a good team because that's where they just end up. No matter what the roster is, no matter what the injuries are, no matter what players are going in, what players are coming out, the Astros are inevitable, it feels, and maybe they are in a prime position where they're not the best team in the American League. They're not the second best. They're not the third best team in the American League, but they have a very real chance of winning the AL West because of how mediocre to not good the rest of the division is.
And so a couple things here. One, I don't know that there was anybody that was trying to tell anybody else or sell anybody on the Mariners being a juggernaut in this division. I think what we all understood was if the Mariners were going to pitch the way that you expect them to, and this is why I had them making such a deep run, once again, is that the success of what the staff was going to be able to compile was going to force the front office to make some other moves to help out offensively. What's not happening offensively, because as much as we love him, the big dumper can't do it all. He can't. He's doing everything he possibly can right now, Cal Raleigh, to carry this offense. He is carrying this offense with his bat. But outside of him, you're going to need help. And I just don't think that we thought that there was anybody else that was going to provide any sort of production that was going to turn this team into a juggernaut. And I think for the Astros, what they have over everybody else in this division is they still have remnants of guys who were a part of this legacy, right? A part of this dynasty that know how to win, that have an idea of how to get it done. And you might want to poo-poo that and say that experience doesn't really matter, especially in June. Is that really something that you're thinking? Yes, I absolutely am considering that. And that matters. So what you're seeing, I think, is the experience, because Joe Espada said it last year, right? Slow down. It's all right. Off to a slow start. We're going to be all right. We're confident in the guys that we have in this room. And I don't see any reason to move off of that theory or off of that thought. We just knew that this division was going to be a lot closer than it has been in years past.
I'm not going to poo-poo the playoff know-how or the been there before stuff, that the remnants of the Astros. But what I am like, maybe disgrace is a little too harsh, but I think only a little bit. If the Mariners cannot break through and win the division in this season, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like,
not supplementing the offense. That's what
we can pay
doing,
respects
Jay.
to the Astros, and I think that we should. But this is an eminently beatable team, and this Mariners team has. If this isn't the window to win, then the window to win doesn't exist for this team. And I know we basically said the same thing last year, but it applies, I think, even more so this year, because for as uninspiring as a lot of the offense is overall outside of Cal Raleigh, it is a decent offense on the whole. It doesn't have a lot of pop, but it has guys who get on base around Raleigh. It needs more pop, but it's not an abjectly terrible offense. This is a team that needs to win now and needs to be supplemented accordingly. And if the Mariners are not super aggressive, and I mean one of the 2 or 3 most aggressive teams in Major League Baseball in adding to this roster leading up to the trade deadline, I would be exceptionally disappointed if I'm a Mariners fan. We don't need to go into the lack of reaching the postseason, the total lack of real postseason success. That's all established. But this is the era that you have to capitalize on. And if they can't beat this version of the Astros team, I think it's just never kind of going to happen. And the guy on the Astros that I think is worth calling out, which speaks to DB's point about the remnants of that era, is Mr. Pena. I think Jeremy Pena, I never had this level of expectation for him as a player. but at least through this point in the season, he has been one of the very best players in Major League Baseball. Just full stop. Not an MVP candidate, really, but one of the best players by wins above replacement, whichever one you want to use. And I think if we're having an honest conversation about a shortstop hitting 316, 373, 480 with 9 and 13 homers and stolen bases, you don't need wins above replacement to tell you that that's one of the most valuable players in the league. And I think what's neat about him is that he is a case where you have seen incremental year-over-year progress for him as a player to get to the point where now this is the most significant leap that he's ever taken year over year. And that to me is extremely exciting if you're an Astros fan, because yeah, we can keep talking about the remnants of the great teams and kind of, the lineage there, but they're doing all of this without Yordan Alvarez, who is obviously their most important offensive player. And if Pena really is this good or close to it, that's like a second bridge to, the next era or the continuation of this great era that, they kind of need in the post Altuve world.
Well, they need somebody to carry that mantle. And he has been the guy that was readily identified. Again, it's what allows you to move on from Correa, right? Like we've had this conversation multiple times. And you plug him in with a guy like Yordan, and you start to see how that bridge from one era of the dynasty to the next is just that. It's just a bridge. You're just moving from one era to the next, and it's still a dynastic outcome. But as of right now, the Astros, I do believe, are able to tap into that experience where no other team in this division right now is. So we talk about it with leadership. If you don't have leaders in the room, you have essentially a group of guys who are kind of looking around, looking to be led by somebody. And then before you know it, you're at the end of your race, and hopefully somebody has shown up that has taken charge. And if not, there's probably a little left to be desired. You're probably looking back and reflecting on your season thinking, what if? But I think this group has multiple guys within it that are either ready to become that unequivocal leader. I mean, Altuve is still there. Let's not forget, Jose Altuve is still here, still playing baseball, still alive and well there. So that experience is something that you can also tap into. But I just don't see this. What sucks is the division, as we said it at the beginning, was not going to be a runaway division. And in a situation like that,
it should be.
Well, from who though?
If I told you in spring training that by the second week of June, the Seattle Mariners would have would be a better offensive team than they were a pitching team, like if they ranked higher in OPS than they did in ERA, then I would be like, okay, so they're what, 15 games over 500? Like pushing 20? They're 2 games over 500.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's because they also have not had the full health of the rotation.
For sure.
But I think we also just didn't expect that they would be getting any type of top half of the league offense, and they have gotten that.
No, well, Cal Raleigh is the fucking
offense.
4 homers away from 30. He's got 26 homers.
Yeah.
I know he is the offense, and that is fair. But I remember vividly the conversation that we had about the Mariners last year when we were talking about whether they should be adding to the team offensively. I think our consensus was that the offense is actually so far away and needs so many pieces that you would have to make so many additions that I'm not even sure, like, what are you playing for next year, right? But this season, I would argue that the overall offense is actually a lot better than that. And while none of the numbers pop off the page other than Cal Raleigh's, I think enough of the guys are competent to above average, slightly above average offensive players that if you make additions in the right spots, I actually think this year that makes an enormous amount of sense, because the Crawford, Polanco, Julio, Raleigh, Arozarena group, to me, is a playoff caliber offense. But if you need to go out and get another corner bat that can hit home runs, and like we can start naming those people, but like one of the ones that came to my head this morning was Josh Naylor. Like the D-backs are not in the position that we all thought that they would be. That to me is the type of name that starts to make a little bit of sense here and is a massive upgrade on the Rowdy Telez's of the world.
And let's not forget that they are playing without a guy who they had penciled in and was, frankly, making an impact in Victor Robles.
Yep.
Like, you lose Victor Robles with the fucking broken arm in San Francisco, and that's a blow. That's a blow. And so now, and I think we all can expect kind of what we have seen from this Mariners front office, which is, well, let's play it out. Let's play it out. We'll see where we're at. And if we have to make a random move, we'll do it. You know, I go back to the Kendall Graveman, Abraham Toro trade when the Mariners are like, oh, hold on. What did we do? We just what? We just traded our fucking closer? Really?
Dallas, are you buying or selling the AL West being the most interesting division race outside of the NL West?
Yeah, buying. I mean, the Central, I think, has something to say about that.
Which Central?
AL. No? I mean, the Tigers are a runaway right now, but the rest of that.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
not interesting. They have a 7-game lead. I'm not interested in that.
So then, yeah, the West.
Like, there's not a huge gap between so right now, entering play today, the Rays and the Jays are both they're in lockstep, 4.5 games back. They're both 35 and 30. The Jays probably shouldn't. I mean, credit to them for digging themselves out of the hole that they found themselves in to start the year, but I don't think it's sustainable. The Rays are a good team. I mean, they've proven to be a good team. Are they going to challenge the Yankees for first place? Probably not. So I can write off the AL East. The Mets, obviously the Phillies have been slip sliding away recently, but the gap in performance this year between the Phillies and Mets, not a contest. Then you go to the NL Central, the Cubs, far and away the best team in that division. Then there's 3 teams that are kind of just good enough to hang around, like not great, not awful, mediocre to slightly above between the Cardinals, Brewers, and Reds. And then, of course, you have an awesome fucking race in the NL West where you've got the Dodgers in first place, you've got the Padres a game back, and you've got the Giants also a game back of first. So... And also, I mean, in fairness to some of the teams that I didn't mention, like the Diamondbacks, I know it's been a tough start to the year, but I feel like we haven't even fucking talked about the Corbin Burnes shit yet.
Yeah, Corbin Burnes being hurt. I mean, the reason I'll say this about the AL West before, if we want to touch on that, is, and look, it's what is it, like 10 games, 11 games? But that's the gap between first and last place, which is the smallest gap in any division between your first place team and your last place team, the 11 game separation. And I do something you got to remember. And I don't know how many people have already forgotten. I sure haven't, because it was fairly traumatic. But for 21 days, the Athletics decided to lose 20 ball games. And they are still within shouting distance in terms of a potential wild card conversation. And like, you lose 20 fucking games in 21 days, and the series that they just won against the Baltimore Orioles nets them as many wins as the Baltimore Orioles have all season. The A's decided to lose for 3 weeks straight and still have as many wins as the Orioles.
Let's get into Corbin Burnes, because this sucks. This was what, Thursday or Friday that this broke?
I think it happened Thursday.
Either way, it's been a while since the news broke, but it's obviously a very big story given that the Diamondbacks made it to the World Series a couple of years ago. They have their franchise player set, paid, all that. They tried to pay some of their starters, Eduardo Rodriguez, Brandon Pfaadt, and they gave a boatload of money to Corbin Burnes, who was basically waiting for the D-backs to woo him. Like, I feel like that's where he wanted to go. It's not like yes, he got a ton of money on an average annual value basis, but I feel like that's where he wanted to go. This is where he is. And now we have Tommy John surgery is incoming. But my read on it, or my initial reaction, was I feel like the hope should be that the strikeout numbers can go back to somewhere where they used to be. Like, he's been on a year by year decline for what, 4 years? Year over year, the strikeouts per nine going down year over year for 4 years. And I'm not saying he's going to go back to being a 12 strikeouts per nine pitcher like that. Like, those days are over. But if we can get back to being a strikeout per nine, like, look at what Paul Skeens is doing. You don't need to have a double digit strikeouts per nine. I mean, it's great. Like, it pops off the page when you do see it. Well, but I mean, if he's just around a strikeout per inning, like, you're cooking with gas if you're Corbin Burnes, because he can get outs without having to punch out the world.
But Jared, that's where he was at this year. What about a K 9?
He was at 9.
I think the last time I looked, how many innings did he finish with, or did he stop at 60 innings and
he was
strikeouts or something like that?
8.8 K per nine this year, 63 strikeouts and 64 and a third innings. That is actually above what it was last season. And it's equal to the average of his 23-24 stretch.
Yeah. So he's right.
So his Cy Young year,
there.
He was 12.6. Then he was down to 10.8. Then it was 9.3. Then it was 8.4. And then he was up to 8.8. We obviously will never know what it would have ended the year at, but I mean, it's not impossible that he would have been below 8.4 to be another, year over year decline, because the year before he won the Cy Young, it was 13.3. So the year that he won the Cy Young and it was 12.6, it technically went down almost a full strikeout per nine.
I'm having a hard time not being super depressing or depressed about this situation. And that's it. It's amazing how quickly it can go from super optimistic to super depressing, because I've been saying patient on the D-backs all season because I thought they would get back in this and I was high on them to start the year. But like, I think now when you zoom out, like there's a real problem here, because particularly on the pitching side, because, you guys can talk about the optimistic scenario for when Corbin Burnes comes back, but we're talking about a guy who made less than a dozen starts before blowing out in the first season of a $210 million contract. And that's with the context of the other guys that you mentioned, Jared, Eduardo Rodriguez being whatever that is at this point, Brandon Pfaadt just taking the ball, but being persistently ineffective. We're now talking about a guy with an ERA over 5 through 60 career starts. This isn't a dozen starts. And Merrill Kelly is a free agent after this season. Zach Gallen is also a free agent after this season, I believe. So like, you have like, what is the state of this rotation exactly moving forward, and how can it get into a point where you're going to compete in the near term? Because we just laid out what the NL West is all like. So we're going into 2026 with a rotation that's going to feature Brandon Pfaadt, the remains of Eduardo Rodriguez, like whatever that constitutes moving forward, and then replacement, someone from the system, someone from external. Like, that's not a formula to be able to compete in this division, I don't think. And with this offense the way that it is, like, that's unfortunate, because this offense is still ready to win, but the pitching staff is very suddenly not anywhere close. And the Corbin Burnes conversation specifically, it feels like it's a very hard one to have without some level of, not like me specifically, I told you so, but just like this, in general, I told you so about the way that Corbin Burnes' numbers were going, as that Jared talked about. Trending. Like this was hammered home by everybody who has pulled up any stats page or watched Corbin Burnes pitch over this half-decade span that we were referencing. Like, you can say in the moment that it's okay to give him $200 million because his cutter is as devastating as it is, and he's adjusted to become a new pitcher and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, the truth for this deal ended up being that there was probably something real behind the diminishing like returns on the dominance factor, and that he blew out in year one is absolutely a worst case scenario for the D-backs. And I think portends really, really bad things for the medium term of what was previously a really positive situation. Am I
Yeah,
being
there
too
was a
hard? Am I being too negative about that? Like,
Nope. There was no, Jay, because there was a lot to be excited about if you could understand what it looked like and you could understand the move if. And the if was if Corbin Burnes stays healthy, if Corbin Burnes is able to buck the trends. Because the trends were telling everybody, telling all of us that the swing and miss is going down. What makes him valuable? The swing and miss. So what you're always tentative about, what you're always apprehensive about is the sort of adjustments that a guy who has made his hay via the swing and miss, adjusting to not being able to generate the strikeout when he needs to. What does that look like? Who does this individual now become? And for years, we as baseball players have been paid based on what we have just done, right? With the potential projection of that carrying on to some extent. And that's what happened here, is Corbin Burnes was compensated for the work he had done. And at the same time, a combination of projecting what it could look like if he were to buck those trends that everybody was loudly exclaiming about, and if he was going to be able to stay healthy. Two pretty big ifs when you start to talk about signing a player to that amount of money for that duration of time. I mean, it's almost like saying to yourself, well, if he can develop this new pitch and that pitch becomes his best offering, well, that would be great. And we're kind of asking for a lot here. We're asking for this guy's numbers to do a complete 180 and turn around and spike up again. And I don't know if that was the safest bet to make.
I don't think so either.
Also, if I'm Ken Kendrick, I'm probably just not gonna pay pitchers. I don't think.
What is do we ever get an update on Jordan Montgomery? Like, is he alive?
No, they killed him.
They banished him. He's hanging out with Masataka Yoshida somewhere.
Yeah. No, he got Tommy John. Right?
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that.
I'm pretty sure it was like a dual banishment Tommy John. Or like he was called like a fat turd or whatever, and then was like, I'm probably just gonna get Tommy John surgery, I think. Let me make sure I'm not making that up. I'm not Dallas Braden, Paul Skeens, watching Paul Skeensing it. Yeah, he's out for the entire 2025 season due to Tommy John surgery. Had it in late March.
Oh,
what a didn't we all kind of see that coming though? Not the Tommy John, but the whole
he would never pitch for the D-backs again.
Well, yeah, okay, buddy, you want to tell me that you don't want me and that I'm worthless or whatever, like you'd rather have somebody else? You're telling me that while I have the player option?
Yeah.
Cha-ching. And guess what? Not available.
I mean, listen, I'm so pro player. I think billionaires should be investing in their product and signing pitchers to win baseball games, right? But if I'm literally Ken Kendrick right now, and I've seen Jordan Montgomery, Eduardo Rodriguez, Brandon Pfaadt, the first year of the Corbin Burnes deal, not writing off the whole thing, but the Corbin Burnes deal, the mixed bag that was the Zach Greinke mega contract, $200 million contract back in the day. I'm probably thinking I have currently, putting Greinke aside, he's got $350 million in pitching contracts tied up in guys that are either just not pitching for him or pitching so badly that it's not fun to watch. That's gotta suck, even as a really rich person.
No, you're and this is the kind of shit that can cause trauma where Kendrick is you know what? Hey, Artie, how'd that whole fucking nothing but pitchers thing go? We're fuck it, we're doing. No, you know what? What do we need? We need pitching. Get Rendon on the phone. Get Rendon.
You guys didn't respond to that fucking tweet that I put in the group text the other day. It was very funny.
Oh, the Rendon one?
It was Anthony Rendon's birthday. And this dude on Twitter, his name is Jordan. he took a picture with Anthony Rendon, probably on like fan meet and greet day, whatever, because they're in the outfield and it looks like he's roped off. And he wrote, "Happy birthday to my favorite baseball player ever. You've really inspired me to always give up on my dreams, never put my heart into anything, and always look for the easy way out. Happy birthday."
Yeah.
That's fucked up. That's mean.
Yeah, Rendon takes the time to take a picture with you, and that's what you do.
Well, I mean, it was fan meet and greet day. Like, he took a picture with everyone. It's not like he stopped in the middle of a Starbucks and gave you his time. He was out there he had an allotted amount of time to take pictures with fans.
This was a court mandated player.
Pretty
appearance.
much. He was there, so he shouldn't get fined. Yes.
Like, hey, remember when you tried to yank that fucking fan out of the Coliseum down onto the fucking field and fight him? Well, now you're going to have to show up to your own meet and greets. All right. That's the punishment. No community service, right? You have to play and you have to show the fans that you are interested in their presence. That's your community service.
Yeah. Why not? I still owe Dallas a Ridge wallet. I am gonna do that. I'm gonna buy it with my own money. I don't want a handout from Ridge, although I'm sure that they would be happy to send you one, Dallas. I'm gonna buy you a Ridge wallet with my own money and send it to you. That's how much I believe in the product. And that's how much I want you to enjoy your life being a Ridge wallet guy. That's just the kind of guy that I am. You know, I'm always thinking about my pals. I love my Ridge wallet because it's unique, slim, and it's got a modern design that holds up to 12 cards plus cash, made with premium materials like aluminum, titanium, and carbon fiber. Over 50 plus colors and styles to choose from. I've got an A's Ridge wallet. Heading over to Simi Valley just for DB. It's the last wallet you're ever going to buy. Because it's going to give Dallas peace of mind knowing that his Ridge wallet has RFID blocking technology. That way, digital pickpocketers are not going to get my boy. He's very prone to all types of nefarious acts. He's very like, you know how like old people get scammed on the phone? They're like, hey, grandma, I need your credit card number. And they don't even recognize the voice. They just give the scam artist like that's Dallas, but he's like 41 or 42. He's just kind of already at the point where he's easily taken advantage of. Not with a Ridge wallet. Losing your wallet's the worst. But with the Ridge AirTag attachment, you'll always know exactly where it is before panic mode kicks in. And Ridge isn't just about wallets. They create premium everyday carry essentials like key cases, suitcases, and rings, all built with the same sleek, durable design. No matter what you pick, Ridge has free shipping, a 99-day risk-free trial, and a lifetime warranty on all their products. Right now, just in time for Father's Day, Ridge is having a huge sale. Get up to 40% off your order at ridge.com/BID. Just head to ridge, RIDGE.com/BID to find the perfect gift for dad or yourself or both. When you check out the last we heard about them, please support our show and tell them that BID sent you. Give dad the upgrade that he deserves. Shout out to all the dads out there. Are you doing something for me this year, Dallas?
What the fuck for?
Like Father's Day,
buddy. Easy.
Like,
Easy.
Like in the community, like, is it kind of just like, you know, we exchange to like happy Father's, like, you know, happy Father's Day to you type deal, where it's like it's like a brotherhood.
Well, it's a fatherhood is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we doing that this year or what?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're an honorary member. I mean, that's, you know, Jared, look, anybody can be a father, Jared. It takes a special person to be a dad.
That's true. That's true. I feel like I'm both, you know?
Well, as long as you believe that, friend, that's what matters. That's what matters.
Big Christmas got sent down. Jay, hey, what the fuck?
Noel.
Yeah. I mean, I think they gave him a long enough opportunity to turn it around this season, and I would expect that we will see him back before the year is out. But a 392 OPS in 107 plate appearances is just not going to. It's not going to work.
No.
And obviously his offensive profile is kind of walking a thin line to begin with. So yeah, I think we'll see him back, but I'm not. There may be issues offensively that are too great to overcome in terms of an everyday role, and he wasn't really getting that. He was on the short side of a platoon. So go down, get some consistent reps, and we'll see if you figure it out.
That's sad.
It is sad. I mean, that home run is one of the. I mean, I know it didn't end up quote unquote mattering in the way that you would want it because they lost the series, but they lost the DS, but the Noel homer is a signature moment in the history of Jacobs Field. I haven't ranked them, but it is a signature moment. Made me feel a certain way that I don't get to feel all that often anymore. And if that ends up being his most significant contribution, which I think there's a decent chance that's the case, I don't think there's any shame in that because that's an incredible signature moment. But I'm rooting for him to come back because he's a unique player. Like he is aesthetically, physically, all that sort of stuff. He's interesting to watch. And when it all comes together, it generates moments like we saw. And Cleveland desperately needs people who can put the ball in the stands like that when he connects. So I hope he figures it out.
I hope so too. That was a really fun moment last postseason. That was probably the highlight of the postseason for me, actually.
Yeah.
The big Christmas homer.
Yeah. I mean, that was I think the Juan Soto homer in Cleveland, the big Christmas homer in Cleveland, just kind of like moments that you could feel it coming and then it actually did happen. So you feel very rewarded when you get those.
It was also like the opposite of the Lane Thomas homer too, because it was like you felt the Noel one coming a little bit. I didn't feel Lane Thomas hitting a homer off of Tarek Skubal coming. Kind of a fun juxtaposition within the same postseason, but
well, okay. Anything else?
No, do we? No,
yeah,
I'll save.
I have a little something else.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Eury Pérez returning today.
Oh yeah, today.
This is not my final thought, but I'm like legitimately excited for that. I know it's been since September of 2023, so a little while now, but at the time was as hyped or as exciting of a pitching prospect as you typically get to see, and was delivering on it. I was going through the numbers this morning and was reminded of the fact that his 3 non-fastballs all have a whiff rate or all had a whiff rate of 40% or higher when he was in the big leagues, which is exceptionally rare. And all were unique and dominant outings or offerings. So I'm excited to see to what extent those are still present, what he looks like overall. And it doesn't change really anything about the Marlins this season or probably ever, but it does give you a reason to tune in to watch the Marlins every 5th day now, which didn't really presently exist with Alcantara pitching the way that he has. So I'm excited for that.
I mean, isn't Eury, doesn't he just become like a dangle piece?
Eventually, yes. I didn't want to go there right away.
Why not?
For the one Marlin fan who listens to the podcast, but no, I mean, that's where we're going to end up.
But this one player represents multiple players for you in the future.
Understood. But like, I can't even fathom having that conversation about a guy this young that you barely had an opportunity to be excited about before he blew out. Like, you're right that we're going to get to the point where the Marlins are trading Eury Pérez because that's where we get with everybody they have. But in the present, like if I'm a Marlins fan and I'm still sick enough to be tuning in regularly, I feel like this is probably the most exciting thing that has happened maybe since he debuted.
Is that the most masochistic fan in baseball? is the Marlins fan?
It's got to be White Sox. At least if you're a Marlins fan, you go to the game. It's like still Miami. Like, I'm still having a good time. Weather's nice. Ballpark's nice. You go to a fucking White Sox game. The weather sucks. The city is just like, it's not a good area. The ballpark is the most cookie cutter ballpark in the world. Like if you're going out of your way to watch a White Sox game, like come on.
In fairness to that though, that Marlins ballpark is not in the fun part of Miami either.
No, and that's what I was just gonna say. Like you're not walking into that place going, oh, this is the 305. This is the Miami they've been telling me about. These are the vibe. Like you don't get that. That is not what you get when you walk into that ballpark. That's not the energy that is coursing through that ballpark. That's not the environment that you're treated to as a visiting fan. You don't walk in there feeling like you just left a little like, oh shit, I was just transported into the Caribbean. Like this is Miami. Holy fuck, this. Nope. You don't get any of that.
I respectfully disagree with Jared on the masochistic thing. Like I think you were reasonable to get excited about that core of players that the White Sox pumped as being the next great White Sox core. I think that was totally reasonable to get excited about that. With the Marlins, and I feel like we come up with new ways to describe the worst fan with the worst organizations every week. But like with the Marlins, I feel like there is no hope for them to act any differently ever from how they have ever acted. And like the cycle is always going to remain the same. You don't even have the Coors Field element where it's like this cool ballpark that generates offense and you can like sell that element of it. It's like this team is never going to invest. It's never going to have a proper talent base, and it's always going to turn over the talent that it has. And I mean, you saw those crowds for the Rockies. I know it was the Rockies series in Miami, but like,
it's like, it feels like the Marlins. It feels like the Marlins are the burner phone of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, they're just not a real team. Like they're just not a real franchise in any way.
Like you know what I mean? Like you get your service from AT&T, you get your service from Verizon, and then you could go to the corner store and just snag that burner and
100%
rock that till the wheels fall off, and then go grab another one.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you want a Major League Baseball team? It's like we've got the Major League Baseball team at home version of that, right? Like it's, yeah, we're not buying that. We got that at home. We got the store brand at home.
We got one of those. Yeah. Get the design. Your grandmother can sew it on. It'll be just like your friends at school. What the fuck? The fucking swoosh is backwards. What do you mean? No, I'm getting my ass kicked.
We forgot about Connor.
Oh, Jesus. Is he still here?
Oh, yeah.
Bring in the big guns, man.
Let's go,
Bring him
Connor.
in.
I mean,
I completely forgot.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a big weekend in college baseball, Connor. Well, let's talk about it.
God, it was huge, man. It was awesome. Great weekend. I made a big mistake last Monday. I said, or it might have been Wednesday, that I said every series started Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'd all know by Sunday. That was a mistake. 4 of them started Saturday, Sunday with the chance to go to Monday, and only one of them made it to Monday, and that is Murray State and Duke tonight.
Okay.
Ooh.
So that's 7 teams determined, and we're waiting on the winner of Murray State and Duke.
Murray State punching their ticket.
All right, give me the rundown. Who are the 7 teams that are going to Omaha?
Right now, we got Arizona, Louisville, Oregon State, Coastal Carolina, LSU, and Arkansas.
Okay, so the 2 heavy favorites are LSU and Arkansas?
And UCLA.
And UCLA.
And the heavy favorite's going to be Arkansas and LSU, probably.
Got it. I mean, Arkansas, like that's a program that just wins. Like that is they've been at the top of the top for quite some time now. Not that LSU hasn't, but I feel like Arkansas has been that dog for a minute. Do we know what the potential matchups will be for the first round?
The only one that I really made a note out of was Arizona and Coastal Carolina, I think, are going to play each other first round, and that's a rematch of the 2016 national championship.
Got it. So unless they're really stupid, no returning players to spark this decade long rivalry between the two teams. Okay, so we'll find out between Duke and Murray State tonight. When would the College World Series begin in Omaha? When does that start?
That would start this Friday, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm right. Let's see. Yeah, Friday, June 13th.
Okay. And as far as the highlights from this past weekend, I know the You're Fucked guy. He pitched what, on Saturday or Sunday?
He pitched yesterday,
Sunday. And how did he do?
He went 3 2/3, 5 earned, 2 walks, 6 Ks. After allegedly, again, don't know if that was too true, writing "You're fucked" on an autograph for an Arkansas fan, and it was actually the other way. He was fucked. And
did he get the loss?
I want to say, yeah, he got the loss. That whole situation exploded pretty quick. He gave up a 2-run bomb in the second or third, and then they had the lead after that. And there was a whole situation. First 2 runners get on. This guy comes up. Davalon hit the bomb against him. So they were like, "Look, apparently he's hitting like 470 off lefties, and he's a lefty." And so they're like, "Dude, we're just gonna put you on first." They bring in a righty. He goes breaker 0-2, ball 1-2. Ball ends up at the backstop. Run scores. Hits that guy. Grand slam. Next pitch 7-1. Just absolute implosion.
That's
tough.
Fall off.
That's tough. I mean, it was honestly it was a bad weekend for shit talkers. It really was. Like anyone that had something to say, those people did not end up looking super great. What were the other standout moments from the weekend?
Dallas, our UTSA Roadrunners that went out with a sad meet did not do very good. One player I really forgot to mention in our kind of rundown was Rock Chalowski. Guy's hitting 367 with 23 pumps and 23 home runs in how many games they've played? Maybe 58, 60. That's basically a home run every other game. Their starting 9 hitters averages go like this: 315, 367, 319, 320, 313, 304, 313, 276, 258. So 7 guys in their lineup hitting over 300. Any other startup moments? LSU swept Virginia. That was going to happen. That wasn't very close.
What do you got on? Auburn. What do you got on the lefty? Who is it from Arkansas? Root, is that his name?
Root, yeah, he dominated. I was going to talk about that a little bit. He threw game 1, 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and he had a little moment with Andrew Fisher, who's Tennessee's first baseman.
Yeah,
punches him out, and Fisher's not like Juan Sotoing, but it's kind of like a little Juan Soto antics.
He did. He took a pitch and kind of stood up and was like, "Oh," and he turned back and looked right,
another one in the dirt.
It up.
Yeah, takes another breaking ball in the dirt, kind of points at it, and then punches him out.
He literally spit at it. He spit.
Yeah.
He fucking spit at it.
Here's the thing about Arkansas. Here's the thing about Arkansas and Tennessee. They love to. It's like they both think they're the bigger shit talker. Oh no, Tennessee talks so much shit. They're like, no, Arkansas fans are so much worse. They both talk shit, and it was. I mean, I want to say it was a good series. It was. The first game was 4-3, really tight, really competitive, and then the last game kind of fell off the rails for the Volunteers. But honestly, it was a good series. It was fun to watch. Fun fact: Tennessee, they've just been good recently. Really, they don't have a crazy amount of baseball history. Yeah, in the Tony V era, used to be a assistant coach at Arkansas. Tennessee has not won a series in Fayetteville since 2001. Oof. I was not born yet.
Damn.
Wow. Tony V not doing much to change that right now.
You weren't born in 2001, huh? That's what's going to stick with me about this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to drop that on you, Jay. That's on me. That's on me. Some other notes. Coastal Carolina 23-game winning streak. That goes back to, I want to say, mid-April.
Damn.
But 26-4 in conference. They're 27-3 at home. And their staff is ridiculous. They're 3 starters, 2.15 ERA, 2.90 ERA. and 3.24 ERA. They really don't pitch to the strikeout much. Only one of those guys has more strikeouts than innings pitched. But their staff as a whole has a 3.23 ERA. Their closer has a 0.59 ERA. Like, I know ERA is not the best stat to use all the time. Unfortunately, most of these college websites don't have like these advanced stats. They don't have yada, yada, yada. But they do have a 1.19 whip, and that is not a lot of traffic.
Not a lot of traffic. Go Chance.
Go Chance. Who else do we have on here? Oregon State, first independent team to ever make a College World Series, really, because we're one of the more independent teams. Like, you can say, oh, Notre Dame. I don't know if Army's made one recently, but now they're in a conference. But their schedule was hard. Like, it wasn't like cupcake schedule. On their regular season schedule, they had San Diego, who was a good team. They were hot late. Cal Poly, regional. Nebraska, regional. UC Irvine, regional. Oregon, regional. They played really good teams. They beat Florida State. Our guy Jamie Arnold went 6 2/3, 1 earned, 9 Ks. Crazy. I also forgot to mention another guy, Iva Arquette, another guy from Hawaii, 352. He's got an 1138 OPS, 18 bombs. He's going to be fun to watch. He's a top 20 draft prospect as well.
Well, I'll be at least tuning in a little bit this weekend. I am intrigued. Connor, if you had to recommend that I ride with a team, who would it be? Because it's between LSU and Arkansas, and they can't buy me any more than they've already attempted to buy me. I mean, like they've both been great. I got the follow from Arkansas on the gram. LSU sent me their entire merch catalog, so they've both been very, very good. If I had to pick between those two teams, who would you recommend that I go with?
I'm going with the Hogs. I'm going with the Omaha Hogs, you could say.
Oh.
I'm going with Arkansas, and LSU's a good team, but Arkansas is my pick for it.
Okay, all right, Arkansas it is. I feel dirty doing that to LSU. It's tough to pick between the two, but if we're going Hogs, we're going Hogs. Connor, thank you so much. We'll check back in with you next Monday, and we'll do some more college ball with Connor.
Sick.
Thanks,
be here.
pal.
Peace.
Keep rocking that stash. Looks fucking unbelievable. Final thoughts, Dallas?
Jacob Wilson.
Jesus.
You're starting shortstop for the American League All-Star
It's like he's
team.
like Woody when you like pull the string. It's like he can only say 3 things.
Yep.
Just
want to remind people. Just want to remind people.
Yeah, no, we know. Impossible to forget.
No, you wake up every day trying to forget. That's the problem. You wake up every day trying to forget, but I'm not going to let you. Not going to let you. Yeah, you had so many different reasons why Jacob Wilson was going to fall by the wayside, why this was just, it's cute, it's fun early, it's not going to. No, Jacob Wilson has the second most hits in baseball. Top 10 OPS. I believe he's 8th in baseball. His 93 hits are, as I said, second to Aaron Judge's 95, who just hit 2 fucking homers last night. So Jacob Wilson, steady as ever, continuing the push for the hardware.
Justin Havens, Nugs into final thoughts?
Yes, Nugs into final thoughts. So to go back to the Brandon Pfaadt thing for a second, a couple of days ago, I actually was curious. He has that 5 ERA through 60 plus starts into his MLB career, which, is not a insignificant sample. So it got me curious, how many pitchers were that bad, that deep into their careers and turned into starting pitchers of impact? And admittedly, the impact part is a subjective line that I drew, but I looked at all pitchers to have a 5+ ERA through their first 60 starts in the wild card era. And I found 4 pitchers that qualified to me as impact starters that were able to overcome that brutal start to their career to be that level. Jason Schmidt, Javier Vasquez, Charlie Morton, and Jake Arrieta. So if you are looking for Brandon Pfaadt optimism, the numbers are against him, but it's not impossible. In fact, those 4 guys, I think we're all on the same page, had either Cy Young winning peaks or Cy Young caliber peaks. So book's not written yet. After that, it drops off to guys like Nick Pivetta and Eric Milton. So certainly MLB careers to be had, but we'll see whether it's an impact one. In terms of additional stats, Bryce Elder and Logan Webb, don't know if you guys saw this, 12 strikeouts and 0 walks for Elder, 10 strikeouts and 0 walks for Logan Webb. It's the first instance of pitchers having 10 plus strikeout, 0 walk performances against each other since May 21st, 2021, when Carlos Rodon, 13 strikeouts, 0 walks, and the aforementioned Jordan Montgomery, in a different time in his life, 11 strikeouts, 0 walks. They did so in a Yankees-White Sox game. So pretty cool head-to-head showdown there. George Kirby's 14 strikeout, 0 walk performance was the first by a Mariners pitcher since Randy Johnson on June 24th, 1997. So quite a long time. And it's the only such performance by a Mariners right-handed pitcher in franchise history. Jeremy Pena strikeout rate per season, 24.2%, 20.3%, 17.1%, 14.4%. And then to wrap it up with Paul Skeens, we heard about the ERA over that 6-game span from Jared earlier today, 0.85. I looked at the last all pitchers to have an ERA under 1 and accumulate only 0 or 1 wins over a 6-game span while throwing at least 1 complete game over that stretch. The last 2 instances of that are Paul Skeens in 2025 and Randy Johnson in 1999. So always trying to figure out new ways to explain how crazy Paul Skeens' situation is. And that's today's. And those are the Nugs.
Thank you, Justin Havens.
Yep.
Final thoughts?
Dallas, you want to go?
Dallas did.
No, I've dropped mine.
It was
you're
obviously
good?
fucking Jay Willie. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right. Yeah,
Mhm.
I didn't know if you wanted to do like a second Jay Willie.
No, the All-Star. What, do you want
Just
the All-Star campaign or do you want Rookie of the Year campaign? What do you want?
Oh, it's the same thing, I think, probably. For our purposes,
Yeah, it
we'll
is.
probably just edit that down into one segment.
Yeah.
Just two things to watch for series starting this week. Dodgers, Padres, and Cubs, Phillies both play. So Phillies reeling, no rest for the weary as they get the Chicago Cubs. And then obviously what some of us have called the greatest existing rivalry in Major League Baseball today. Dodgers, Padres begins again here later today. And I'm excited for that. Those are my final thoughts.
I'm always locked in for Dodgers Padres. Like that, those are great games because not only are the teams not evenly matched, but they're both stacked, talented. Geographically, the fans don't like each other. There's animosity between both sides, and you have the acknowledgement from Dave Roberts that like, hey, that was the toughest team we played on route to a championship. Like the Yankees, that was a formality. That team fucking stinks. But Dodgers Padres always gets my attention.
And only 1 game separates them still. Like it's still a battle. It's very relevant right now. And with the D-backs kind of falling by the wayside, as we've discussed, like this really could be a season-long thing. So
yeah,
excited for that for sure.
Same.
You know what, Jared? Something that I just noticed. You remember the little kerfuffle between the between the Red Sox and the Angels?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever catch wind of what that was really all about?
Yeah, I did.
What do you make of what we can, I guess, at this point still call accusations? And for those who are unaware, there was some back and forth between the Halos and the Red Sox. What, last week?
Yeah,
About a week ago.
I mean, it was street legal. Yeah.
But yeah, now they're being accused once again of stealing signs.
No, not in the same way. It's street legal. If you can see it and give away a location to the batter through the peripheral, then that's there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, are we sure that's it?
Where is this coming from? This was like a week old story now, and we were like right about to end the podcast. What are you doing here?
Well, I'm just wondering, like, is that something we're just going to let kind of go? Because
we've already talked about this.
last time it came
We
up.
literally already had this discussion last week.
Did we?
Yes.
I don't think to this extent. We just kind of him-hawed around what had happened. Right?
No,
we
we
weren't really
talked about
sure.
how they were giving location or they were able to see pitch grid. Like the idea that they were stealing signs illegally is borderline impossible unless they're hacking frequencies which is just not happening.
Yeah, no one said illegally.
Yeah, if you're a base coach and you can see pitch grips, you can let the batter know. Or if you see where the catcher's setting up, you can let the batter know. Like that's not illegal. And then every team does it. It just happens that the Angels were crying about it.
Doesn't seem like it's helping though.
Can I go eat my lunch now?
I don't know. I'm just wondering where the Red Sox are at collectively right now. Just feels
they
like
just put
there's
up
a lot
27
of noise,
runs in a weekend against the Yankees. So I
a
don't
lot
know.
of noise surrounding this team right now.
Are you done?
Maybe not as
You
done
get
as the
all
Red
out?
Sox, but maybe.
They just took a series from the first place Yankees. You done?
Well, that's cool. What place are they in the division?
All right. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Family Feud. Again, no episode on Thursday. We'll
Are
be
they
right
picking up
back
the Red
here
Sox?
on Wednesday for the final episode of the week. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be right back here in just a couple days.